Hey guys, this is Insurance and Finance Almost Live. Today we have a very special guest. We have Ron van den Broek, CEO of Keylane. Thank you very much that you are here with us today.
Hi there. Good morning.
Thank you very much. I heard you're just off vacation, so I maybe the first date. So thank you very much for being the first meeting after your vacation. At least I suppose that. Big question to you is, of course, the market know what is Keylane, but what do people actually really need to know about Keylane today?
Yeah, Keylane is, of course, the leading European provider of highly configurable and robust SaaS platform solutions in the insurance and the pension industry. And I think that is known. We offer solutions that optimize today's business processes, unburden our clients, and empower them to be future-proof, Robin.
What is future-proof for you?
Yeah, what we see is that there are lots of solutions that are focusing on current processes, but you should be able to accommodate agile processes and being ready to follow future developments as well.
You have become CEO of Keylane. I think you have your first 150 days behind you.
Yeah.
What is your background and why did you take on that job?
Yeah, my background is in a combination of general management positions and in sales positions. So I'm a commercial type of CEO. I worked for Keylane already for quite some time, and in the end of last year, they asked me to take over the role from Ralph Timmer. Ralph Timmer was my former CEO. He was very focused on processes and details. I'm a different type of person. I like to bring the organization a step further. Also in the outside world, and I love to have that challenge. And we focus in this area, to bring more transparency into the organization, openness, and a lot of trust. In fact, I launched a statement: "Trust over control." What doesn't mean that there is no control anymore, but really to count on your people and to make it happen as a group, to bring that successes to Keylane and to the market.
But how? I mean, I know we agreed on totally different topics, but I know he knows a little bit, so we can go down that route a little bit. I think it's super interesting because I think a lot of personal and CEO challenges, and one you touched actually, and the one you touched is trust and control. How do you manage that, and especially keep employees happy, productive, the systems running, being innovative? It's like I think isn't that actually the mega challenge of CEOs today? Trust and control.
Yeah, I think it is a mega challenge, Robin, and I also see that. But we have been grown as a company in a quite controlled environment. And if you really want to bind people, you need to make them part of the journey. And what I try to do is to really bring responsibilities lower into the organization. And make people accountable for them. It's better to ask for forgiveness than for permission. That's difficult to really practice, but that's what I try to do.
I was like, in the insurance industry, interesting approach. But the funny thing is, that's also a quote that I have a lot of times around here. We are very, sharing the mission, but we do not take enough time actually to really sit together and talk about these things. So actually, I'm guilty of, not being like the super role model of that. So I will take a lot of advice from you. When you became CEO, wasn't it you have had managerial positions before too. Big question is, how was it personally for you suddenly, to have the really main responsibility?
Yeah, to be honest, Robin, the first 2 weeks, and I just shared it with one of my colleagues, it was not so easy because then you really feel the responsibility and you think, what happens if there is a cyber attack in one of the environments of your clients, and how do I feel and how should I react? Or if the office is in a burning situation, how do you react to that? So the first few weeks, I found it as a big responsibility, and the responsibility did not change. But my approach to that is completely relaxed these days. I feel at one hand the responsibility and take that very serious. At the other hand, I as a person am not changed. So I try to be myself, and I also try to bring that into the organization, that people should be themselves at one end, make a link between their private life and their business, and take that serious at one end and have fun together as well. And that is one of the things. If you ask me about the first 150 days, I had a meeting a few days ago with my team, and there was a very business-focused approach on the results and what we need to do at one hand. At the other hand, the way how that worked as a team and the smiles that I saw around the table made me really proud.
That's cool. That's cool. I think smiles at the table, that's a very good sign. And when people are pushing beyond that. I just recently talked to another decision maker, and he said, you know, Robin, what's the biggest problem, or what really sucks at being at the top is there's nobody to blame except yourself, the person in the mirror. How do you handle that?
Yeah, I think in general you should not blame your people at all. That's, I think, a misbehavior. Give the credits to your team and take the blame for yourself.
Yeah,
that's my credo.
It's really hard to sorry, no COVID. I just ate something sharp, hot. But that's really hard to implement, I think, or not hard, but it's like it demands a lot of discipline to do that, or actually blame.
Yeah, but also be open and transparent, and in all of your communication, and that's what I try to do, at least.
What I think you described one thing, and what is important and what not. I think that's also a big challenge for a decision maker like you. How do you differentiate? Because you get a million different emails, and you have hundreds of people, thousands of people you're responsible for. Then you have people like me. Please come to my show. How do you differentiate between what's important and what not?
Yeah, it's a difficult question, to be honest, but I get a lot of help from my assistant, Mandy. She takes care of lots of my stuff that's coming in. At the other hand, I start my day relatively early, first hour of the day. I try to focus on my email and make the distinguish between what is important and how to follow up. But also there, the main topics we share with the team and do that together. But yeah, sometimes that's a challenge, particularly in days that there are all kind of stuff that's coming to you. But in general, I think managing the emails is a challenge that every manager has, and you need to focus on what do you need to pick up yourself and what can be handled by other managers or by team members.
Cool. Yeah, I hope my questions were nice until now. I hope you have a good feeling right now and you like me a little bit. So I'm going to ask and switch now to the more harder questions. You have your 150 days as CEO of Keylane behind you, and you already indicated some changes. But what were like the major changes you actually did, and why?
Yeah, I think if you look to the major changes is the way how we approached our commercials. We have built up a new commercial team with very straight focused on different countries and different propositions. All, of course, in the insurance business. We are only focusing on insurances, and we are focusing on very restrictive markets. As you know, we call it the beer drinking countries. That are the Benelux, the DACH region, and the Nordics, and that's also where we would like to keep our focus. So that is one of the things. The other thing is with the shortage in the market on resources, we needed to focus on how do you keep your development up to date, how do you work and make sure that you can deliver into the market. So first of all, on the development side, we have opened up Indian offices and work closely with India to make sure that we can deliver what we need in development. So that at one hand, at the other hand, we intensified our partnerships, for example, with Bearing Point, so that we not only focus on our own resources, but do it together. So we, for example, in Germany can deliver with Bearing Point in the market.
Yeah, the only thing I'm hearing right now is the beer strategy. I'm really thinking about if that should actually be a title of a book, the beer drinking strategy in business development or something. I think we should, maybe write it together at some point. I'm just in for the title, the content comes from you guys. No, I totally get it. Besides the very interesting, one message I think that should be clear is Keylane is internationally active. I think a lot of people knew this behind the scenes, but I think it's quite obvious with your also offices and your physical presences in the beer drinking countries. Big question. Belgium actually also drinks a lot of beer, but just kidding aside. So what I want to say is, when you are being active in so many different countries, my big question to you is, what is the difference in the market? You have so much insights into that. Or how do you need to actually change your application or your software in the different markets?
Yeah, if you look to Keylane, we of course started in the Netherlands, a small country. We are dominating that market as a supplier. So if we wanted to grow, we needed to go to other territories, and we considered where to go and how to do that. And at the end, we started with the beer drinking countries, just a couple of countries to focus on, because we need to develop country layers. And what that means is that all the interaction with the market and with the clients need to be supported with local solutions. So therefore, a country layer is a significant investment, and Keylane takes all that investments to go to a new market. And that's what we have done for the Nordics, what we have done for Germany, what we've done for Belgium, etc. We have a dream, actually. I have a dream to bring it further, but we cannot simply continue to add country layers into applications. So what we would like to focus on in the coming years is to think about a generic approach of focusing on new countries, so that you can also configure your country specific stuff outside the core application, and so that you can work more with partners also on the development side and the delivery side. So if you want to go to Brazil, for example, it would be great to have a partner with all the knowledge of the Brazilian market in insurance. And if you then have an application that can support and facilitate the country-specific needs of that territory by configuring that outside the core of that application, that would be my dream to deliver, like an app store as Apple did 10 years ago.
Yeah, but that sounds like an expensive dream to develop. Not only, that was one thing I was thinking about when you have a country layer, which is a significant investment. I think it's not only about translation of buttons, but it's really the core, also technology behind it. When you think about different regulatory requirements.
Yeah, think about car insurance and all the integrations you need to do. It's a lot. So if you look to a country layer that we do today, the investment is huge. It takes us 1 to 2 years, 2 years development with the development force that we have to develop one country layer. It's a huge thing. So if you can build up a more generic one in maybe more time, that will help us to move from beer drinking to a world player supplier.
Yeah, that would be hell of a party then when you need to bring all national drinks together.
Exactly.
I hope I get an invitation, since I was guest at
Forward
before the zombie apocalypse. So, okay, I really understand. That's like a huge shift. That's even. I think that's super interesting that you say, okay, we have moved into several countries with country layers, and now we're thinking, how can we actually globally scale with then actually with a different IT architecture?
Yeah, that is the long-term vision, Robin. So that people should really understand we will not create additional country layers in the short term. And the short term, I talk about 3 to 5 years. We will focus on the countries where we are today, and that are the beer drinking countries. And our market there will be serviced by Keylane with the current solution and the current country layers.
Also the different countries are several $100 billion in premium, euros in premium. So I think there is enough space. Germany Digitalscouting also goes international. We have some, new offices coming up, and we are also modest. We are focusing on Europe too, maybe in a different scale.
We have a medium plan for the coming 4 or 5 years to double in size in these markets. So we are here to focus on that market.
Super interesting. Big question. We talk a lot about vision and but how do you deliver this? It's really hard to deliver on point. How do you do that?
That's correct. And delivery, and particularly in this market, is a challenge. So if you look to the delivery of our solution, of course we develop it in the Netherlands together with India, but to execute it and to bring it into practice in the countries, we do that with a force of own people in delivery, together with our partners in the market, so that we are able to deliver that solution to the market.
But is there a secret, a trick you can share? Your competitors probably are not listening.
No, I think there is no secret, to be honest, Robin. This is really focusing on hard work and focusing on the processes to make that happen. To not deliver too much, to promise too much to your clients, but deliver what you promise is one of the things that is essential, but also difficult sometimes to bring into practice.
I know tech and marketing and consulting is a different complexity, I think. And so, but one slogan we actually have hanging on our walls is one company value is over deliver for the client. I think that's also something, in IT, it's deliver. It's already in a lot of cases over deliver. But I think that's a great thing to think about. How can we make it for the client, right? Talk, communicate, and all of that. A big player in this whole thing is the employees, the teams, the people that do the magic happen. We are in a tight employee market. I have the impression, and in the insurance industry since 9 months, everybody's talking, Robin, please help us with employer branding. How do you guys do it? How do you guys attract, keep, and develop talent in your countries and in your teams?
Yeah, we have the same big challenges as all of the companies, I would say. And what we try to do is not only to focus on the money. Of course, money is very important, and we saw salaries explode in a number of areas. So you cannot compete only on the salary side. So you need to also bring in the culture and focus on smaller points. We recently, for example, opened a pub in our office, so that people can form more communities and work together and create an open and transparent atmosphere. So the only way, from my perspective, that we really can keep our people on board is to create a kind of a culture where they really feel comfortable, where they feel heard, where they have a say, where they really do matter. But it is a big challenge.
Yeah, also it's like, oh my God, let me look if you need some marketing intern or something for a few weeks. So I would come by there. But besides the joke, I mean, it's really about how you care. Can you deliver things? Can you be flexible? But on the other hand, what I always find is to deliver as an employer is great. I think it's important, but also to get a culture of achievement. And I think that's something that at least in Germany I've sometimes the impression it lacks a little bit, to really say, yeah, let's be together, let's have some fun, but let's really conquer the world, because without conquering the world, you cannot pay the pub, at least in our business model. I think that's it. Besides the pub, do you have some other like HR or retention things where you said, well, I'm surprised that went so well?
Yeah, we have, of course, a very close relationship with our employees. We follow them on their needs and trainings and all those type of things. I think many of the companies do that these days. So we try to form a real strong culture as a company where we share and the figures, where we are open and transparent, where we celebrate successes. We had weeks with a lot of cakes in the last month to celebrate different wins, smaller and bigger wins, and really to be open to our people and also in all different layers of the organization. And we interact with clients as well. So sometimes we have town halls where clients will speak as well, where we have discussions with our people and clients, where we invite clients to, for example, the CEO of one of our companies as a client was invited here to discuss about women leadership. These type of topics are important, and we try to bring that into practice in our organization.
Super interesting, because that also contributes to deliver when even a subject matter expert then listens to the responsible person of a client, maybe better understanding what does it mean for the module I'm currently developing for the country layer or not, or for the global architecture we are working on right now. So it really makes sense to have the full circle there.
Yeah, and we bring, for example, also our development department to a client, and we bring hire a bus. We drive towards the client, and there the client explains how our solution will be used in practice and what a bug means in our software, for example, and how it hurts the client, so that there is better understanding, and then there is more purpose from our people to focus on these topics and to deliver that. So we try to really build not only a community with our people, but also with our clients.
One tip for improvement, maybe it makes sense to bring the client to you since you have the pub, and then, you know, maybe different solutions.
That's
just kidding.
Okay. That's a very good idea. Thanks.
Okay, sorry. Okay. I want before we close, I want to talk about the vision of Keylane. So what you talked a little bit about your vision. You already really revealed a little bit your going more intense into the market where you are already, but preparing the potentially the scaling up. What else can we expect, or do you have a timestamp on that, or what is your vision beyond that?
Now, if you look to the timestamps, we have a focus for the coming 4 or 5 years to deliver our solution into the beer drinking countries. So the markets that I already mentioned, and at the same time, we will intensify our cooperation with partners to secure delivery into the market. So more partnerships in Belgium, in Germany, in the Nordics. That's what you can expect from Keylane. We also work with our eco partners to add functionality to Axon to deliver a full suite of solutions to our clients. And on top of that, we're working on a long-term vision to bring in a country layer solution for the future, so that we can change from a semi-local player, Northwest Europe, to a worldwide player.
Well, Ron, thank you very much for your time. It was super exciting to also see, you know, where you started, where you're strong now, and where you see your future. I will surely write down that when you have the big international party, I'm going to be invited. Nevertheless, Absolutely. Thank you very much also for sharing your how to build a team, keep a team. Is there something the community can do for you?
That's a good question. I have not thought about that. And what you mean with community is the broader community.
Yeah, the people who are listening right now. You shared so many interesting details, and I think a lot of leaders, but also subject matter experts, will draw a lot of knowledge and tactics from it for their daily work. So, you know, they should contribute something to you too.
I think we should meet each other in the various locations where we are present, with all kind of expert talks that we regularly do, with webinars on local places. So let's interact and form a stronger community together. That will help.
Thank you very much, and I hope you all see us at the Keylane bar.